Hello, you're listening to Mike Madden on the Art Show podcast. Here you'll find interviews with authors, musicians, artists and anyone else in and around the arts. Some of the interviews are taken direct from the Art Show on Expat Radio, with one or two specials in between. This show features Rodney Earl Clarke and his single, Mantra. Hello, this is Mike Madden. You're listening to Words and Music, and tonight I've got a very special guest. Welcome to the show, Rodney Earl Clarke.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really well. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Not too manic over lockdown.
No, managing to keep sane.
We're about to come out the other side anyway, so everyone tells me. Now we're here to talk about your musical output, particularly a track called Mantra, the closing track on Voices for Reconciliation, and it was written especially for you, and you're described as a figurehead narrator. So tell me a little bit about Mantra.
So we were looking for a way to to close the piece, the main piece from which Mantra comes from. It's called Voices for Reconciliation, and we realised that shortly after the murder of George Floyd that we needed to respond and join the conversation, and hopefully through the power of this song encourage people to have a mantra to live by, and where they sort of celebration of all identities and a genuine respect for humankind. So this song is a real call, and it's almost a short, sharp jab in the arm, a shot of adrenaline to really wake us up from the sleep, wake us up from the blindness that many of us have succumbed to, incapable of seeing how we got to where we are today.
It's really interesting, particularly you mentioned George Floyd, and you know the sort of the strapline, if you like, is coming together, unifying the message promoted through sport. And obviously, you know, if anybody who watches sport will see the gestures in every sort of major event at the moment. But is there a danger that it will become just another gesture? And do we need to keep changing not the message, but the delivery of the message?
That's a very good question. And I think, especially with the way things are going today, there's a real need to move away from struggle politics. There's a need to focus on good things, to focus on black excellence. In this instance, to focus on those things that are going to inspire a younger generation. And one would hope that the aim of that, or the desire to inspire younger people, isn't a fly-by-the-night thing, isn't a vogue or a flash in the pan thing. It's something that we can all acknowledge that if we do embrace this really important way of educating people, really important way of helping people to really understand how we got to where we are, only then can we hope to have any kind of reconciliation. So there is a danger, but this is why I'm one of many who are in a position to really sharpen the spotlight.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that we keep the focus, and people like yourself do, as you say, sharpen the spotlight. I know you wonder, sort of, at the moment, it's very visible with the backdrop of an empty stadium, players kneeling and you know, two whistles at the start of every football match and that kind of thing. But what concerns me is when the fans come back in. You know, recently a minute's silence has gone in many situations, and it's a minute's applause, and fans would want to join in with the gesture, but they're certainly not going to kneel at football stadiums that I've been to.
The desire to kneel or not kneel, I think it's very important for us to acknowledge everybody's reality, because not everybody has been through the same thing. But that's not to say that we should dismiss or criticize someone for what they believe is important for them. So I think what you're saying is, once we'll get back to some semblance of normality, that it's going to be forgotten and move on to the next thing. But you see, this is, I mean, for me personally, I've been through this for many years, and I've worked very hard at what I do. I've garnered respect, and I've worked with many amazing, talented, fantastic people, individuals, producers, directors, actors, conductors, and what always rings true is the talent. What always rings true is the dedication to the craft, the dedication to really executing your job or your skill, your talent to the best or your ability. So much so that you want to make it really embarrassingly impossible for somebody not to acknowledge what it is that you do.
I think that's a very good point, that people need to be able to embrace it and to not escape it, not shy away from it. Now, you had a great achievement recently when you actually sang the national anthem at Twickenham, and I've seen some pictures of you. Look very, very happy to be doing it. Is there sort of a twinge of regret there that you did it this year and not when there were fans there?
I'm just very lucky and grateful, to be honest, at the first time of performing there, especially in this period when a lot of my colleagues aren't working. So, yes, it would have been nice to perform in front of a full stadium, but I've always found throughout my career that I've never done the norm. I've either done new works or created new works or performed in peculiar circumstances, and I'm very used to extracting the good, extracting those really special elements from unusual situations. And for example, at Twickenham Stadium, although the stadium was empty, there was a certain majesty about the stadium that was alluring. There was a wonderful array of rugby jerseys behind me when I was singing, a marvellous tribute by the RFU to say that although the local clubs and fans can't be there, they are behind England and supporting England. And then you ask whether there is indeed a tinge of regret. It being an empty stadium, no. I'm very grateful and thrilled to be asked again to sing this coming weekend at the stadium for the England versus France game. So you have to take what, especially in these circumstances, you have to be grateful and seize these opportunities. And there are millions of viewers still out there, people who I'll probably never meet. But I know that the position that I have of singing the national anthem is a very proud moment. And I know that when people see me on the television, there are not many people who look like me singing the national anthem at the rugby. I know that I will be an inspiration, or at least I hope that I will be an inspiration to many people, and also help people really understand that there are many groups, cultures, societies, communities that make up the United Kingdom, and that we need to get to the point where we can feel real pride in celebrating that unity.
Yeah, I think, and unity being the key word there, I think. Now, you're a renowned baritone with great experience in Broadway shows, too numerous to mention. But what's your favourite medium? Is it actually solo performing or as part of a show? Do you like to take the centre stage?
Who doesn't? No. I've been, as I said before, I've worked in many different areas within music, and I think each one has a very special, unique quality to it. Singing as part of an ensemble brings a great sense of teamwork and camaraderie, and that whole thing of creating something with other people is always something nice and fulfilling to do, and it's a very rich experience. But also, as a soloist, being out there doing your thing whether it's a soloist playing another character, whether you're playing another character, for example, in an opera or a musical, there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders to carry the story through. But I relish those opportunities, and also I do like recital mode or in concert mode where it's Rodney and the audience, and it's a real privilege to be able to use your voice to be able to really stir the audience, create an emotion in the audience and hold them in the palm of your hand. There's a great sense of responsibility, and that's something that I very much enjoy.
Well, let's listen to some of your music now. This is Rodney Earl Clarke with The Impossible Dream from the album Glorious Quest, featuring the pianist Christopher Gould.
To fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave cannot go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. One man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to fight the unbeatable foe. To reach the unreachable star.
Hello, this is Mike Madden on Words of Music, and my special guest tonight is Rodney Earl Clarke. That was The Impossible Dream from the album Glorious Quest. So welcome back to the show, Rodney.
Hi.
Now, obviously, you, as we discussed, you're a classic baritone, but you're from Jamaican parentage, is the home of reggae, but also in that region, you've got so many other vibrant musical styles like soca and mento and ska. Were you always aware of these movements in music?
Growing up, it was a household that was very lively. It was a household where you could listen to, on one day, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and on another day, J.S. Bach's Christmas Oratorio. Literally, very eclectic mix, and courtesy of one of my siblings, Queen's Rhapsody, the Bohemian Rhapsody. But obviously, my parents had done a fantastic job with us all, and you know their aim and quest is to equip us with as much knowledge and a breadth of skill to carry us forward in life. And we were given so many opportunities for us to try things out and to work out what direction we wanted to go in. And of course, this all done from a premise of them not necessarily having had that opportunity themselves. So it's going above and beyond working out what it is that youngsters do in South East London at the time. What clubs do they go to? Where do they go? And is it swimming, football? Do they sing in cathedral choirs? And what does that bring? And looking back, I think my parents now can really see the fruits of their labour, and I really hope that we all make them proud. And I just want to put on record my appreciation and gratitude for the sacrifices that they have made.
No, it's a wonderful sentiment. And one of the things that we have in common is that you were a choir boy, and as was I. And my memories of being a choir boy were kind of just of confusion as to what I was really doing in that ritual. What was it like for yourself?
You talked about ritual. It was indeed a ritual for me. I rehearsed twice a week and went to church on Sunday, and this was singing in the cathedral choir had two purposes really. It not only did I celebrate the Mass as a Catholic, but I really was given the opportunity to understand the importance of singing as part of a group, singing in a choir, singing with other like-minded individuals from quite a wide range of backgrounds. And having done that for many, many years, and from being a boy treble, and I became head chorist, and then in my broken voice as well, there's a lot that I have to owe that period of my life to where I am now. I still love listening to church music. I look forward to major feast days and tune into the various radio stations. We'll put my CDs in, or whether it's the Passions or the Christmas oratorios and so forth, and carols, and it's a wonderful institution. And at the time, it was mainly boy choirs, but I'm thrilled to learn that it didn't take very long for it to be opened up for everybody.
Yeah, it is. I think it's different for different people. I mean, I couldn't sing for a start, which was a bit of a drawback. But when I do sort of interviews like this, I always sort of do a bit of ferreting around on websites, and I notice a really great entry on your website, which is the online platform Singing Speaking, which devotes time and effort to helping others to overcome speech impediments, which you had yourself.
That's right. You see, I as I said, I'm always looking at ways of how to use my skill set, and I think it probably comes from my parents. They're educators, the teachers, and people who have big hearts, and they're very compassionate individuals. And when I was 12, I began having a stutter, and I didn't really feel empowered to put my hand up much in class. I did know the answers, and I had a fantastic education, and I enjoyed school. But I think when I reached the Royal Academy of Music and learned more about the voice and breathing and phonation, etc., it became apparent to me that me learning the operatic way of using your voice was helping my speaking. And to that end, I devised an online course. It's a 6-week program I roll out every so often throughout the year, called Singing Speaking, where we try and encourage people to modify the tone of their singing voice to sound more like speech, purely because when we sing, we don't stutter. So I thought to myself, well, this is the key. There are a lot of people who had undergone a lot of speech therapy and it hasn't lasted. They've fallen back into other old habits or not really found a way through their challenges. And I really feel that having an understanding of the workings of the human voice, having an understanding of the power of the breath flow, and also the vowels and the vowel sounds and all these things that I was taught for operatic purposes are translatable to helping people achieve greater fluency in their communication.
It's a very fascinating and noble way of helping others. Also, I noticed that you teamed up with Lithuanian violinist Enrika to create voice and violin duo Enro, and also teamed up as a singing duo as Williams and Clarke. Have you got any more of these in the wings, or are you more concentrating on the solo career now?
I'm always encouraged by how much, when one collaborates with another artist, the experience becomes even more fulfilling. It was a great exploration of how, with Enro, they had a great exploration of how the violin works with the voice and how it interweaves and what emotions that musical combination, that instrumental combination brings. And that's something that I will continue to investigate, continue to look at ways of bringing those elements out in performance. And obviously, when we were doing a lot of these things, it was getting close to when the pandemic was taking hold, and you know, projects that you've been working on for years in advance have unfortunately been put on hold. And that's the same thing with Williams and Clarke. My good friend Julius Williams is a fantastic tenor, and again, it was great to explore that combination. Of course, we know it operatically in a famous duet like the Pearlfishers duet, you know, the baritone and the tenor, and it's always very thrilling. It's a very lively combination, and again, I'm very much looking forward to seeing where that goes.
Now, your composers on Mantra, Anthony and Gaynor Sadler, they've worked with again, it's a who's who of music and shows and even TV commercials. So how did the collaboration with them work? Were you sort of involved in the composing process at all?
So, no, not in the composition process, but obviously in the recording process. They have a wealth of experience and accolades, and they're very thorough musicians. And one of the great things is how they work as a team, husband and wife team, split 50-50 split down the middle in terms of their contributions to the composition. And when I'm in their presence, it's something that's very very humbling to see, and obviously the music that they produce is one of such high quality and precision and emotion.
So the track Mantra, as I say, is part of Voices for Reconciliation, and we're going to play that shortly. But before we do, just tell our listeners where they can find out a little bit more about you and your musical output, and where can they find Mantra?
Sure. Well, I have a website, www.rodneyearlclarke.com, and I'm on all the social media platforms, as one has to be these days, Twitter and Instagram and indeed Facebook. And with Mantra, it's going to be available on Apple Music and on Spotify, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing the feedback, and also really hoping that it reverberates across not just the United Kingdom, but across the nation, across Europe, across the world, and becomes a real anthem for galvanizing and uniting people in a common cause.
And I think that phrase, uniting people in a common cause, is crucial. And I think you've hit the nail on the head with that one. It's been an absolutely wonderful conversation, Rodney. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
And we're going to play out with Mantra by Rodney Earl Clarke.
I know the sorrow I sisters through the ages, endless struggle for reconciliation. And through our struggle, I feel togetherness. Despite our lifetimes, each dedicated to fight injustice and heal our shattered world, I find nothing has changed the conversation. We must endeavor to make our voices heard. A mantra to educate each other, so all the beauty within us can be seen. Let's learn to celebrate identity and raise our heads with pride. A mantra where all respect their kin. A mantra to cherish deep within. So a better world together can begin. I am a man of deep conviction, in righteous hands with clear ambition. We understand the choices that we make build a safe and equal space for knowledge, united in affirmation. A mantra to educate each other, so all the beauty within us shall be seen. Let's learn to celebrate identity and raise our heads with pride. A mantra where all respect their kin. A mantra to cherish deep within. So a better world together can begin. Together can begin.
You've been listening to the Arts Show podcast with Mike Madden. Come back soon for more artists, authors, musicians and anyone else connected with the arts. We're going to play out with Mike Sanchez and I Don't Stand a Chance.
Baby, you hiding something that you don't want me to know, because I'm getting a vibe from way down the side, like you're just about ready to go. If you can't tell me where you stayed last night, you just can't cope with treating me right. I'm on the road to heartbreak, now's the time to tell me so, because I'm getting a chill like I'm gonna be ill. I know you don't want me no more. I won't be satisfied with your little white lies. Girl, I've only just begun to realize I don't stand a chance. I don't stand a chance. You don't wanna know when I can't make you dance, well, I'll say goodbye. Find yourself another guy. I wish you were mine, but I'm losing my mind. I don't stand a chance. But you don't wanna love this man. Am I on the road to heartbreak? Now's the time to tell me so, because I'm getting a chill like I'm gonna be here. I know you don't want me no more. I won't be satisfied with your little white lies. Girl, I've only just begun to realize I don't stand a chance. No, I don't stand a chance. You don't wanna know when I can't make you dance. Well, I'll say goodbye. Find yourself another guy. I wish you were mine, but I'm losing my mind. I don't stand a chance. I don't stand a chance.